CCSP exam practice questions. Domain 1, Cloud Concepts, Architecture and Design. Part 2. Question number 1. A security architect is concerned about the potential security risks in their virtualized environment. Which of the following represents the most significant security concern when multiple virtual machines share the same physical hardware? L. Virtual machines consuming excessive storage resources. B. Unauthorized access between virtual machines sharing the same network. C. An attacker breaking out of a guest operating system and accessing the underlying hardware. D. Creation of new virtual machines without proper documentation. Correct answer, C. Explanation. A VM escape attack where an attacker breaks out of a guest operating system and gains access to the underlying hardware represents the most significant security concern in virtualized environments. This is because in virtualized environments, multiple VMs share the same physical hardware resources, and if an attacker can break out of the VM isolation, they could potentially access memory and processing resources used by other VMs. While other options present valid concerns, they don't pose the same level of security risk as compromising the fundamental isolation between virtual machines. Question number 2. What is the primary purpose of a Type 1 hypervisor in a virtualized environment? A. It runs as an application on top of a host operating system to manage virtual machines. B. It runs directly on the hardware and manages guest operating systems. C. It provides remote desktop access to virtual machines. D. It manages the distribution of workloads across physical servers. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Type 1 hypervisor, also known as a bare metal hypervisor, runs directly on the physical hardware and manages guest operating systems. This is different from a Type 2 hypervisor, which runs as an application on top of a host operating system. Type 1 hypervisors are commonly used in data centers because they provide better performance and stronger security isolation by eliminating the additional layer of the host operating system. This makes them the preferred choice for enterprise virtualization deployments. Question number 3. An organization is experiencing rapid growth in their virtualized environment, with administrators creating new virtual machines frequently. Which of the following situations presents the greatest security risk? A. Increased resource utilization on host machines. B. Higher costs associated with virtual machine licensing. C. Unpatched and abandoned virtual machines remaining on the network. D. Additional storage requirements for virtual machine backups. Correct answer, C. Explanation. The presence of unpatched and abandoned virtual machines on the network, known as VM sprawl, presents the greatest security risk. While other options mainly affect operational efficiency and costs, abandoned VMs that are not maintained or patched can accumulate serious security vulnerabilities over time. These systems remain connected to the network but aren't receiving necessary security updates, creating potential entry points for attackers. This situation is particularly dangerous because administrators might lose track of these systems while they remain active and vulnerable. Question number 4. What is the main advantage of implementing an ephemeral computing strategy in a virtualized environment? A. It reduces the need for physical hardware maintenance. B. It allows for temporary resource allocation and deallocation based on specific needs. C. It improves network performance for virtual machines. D. It provides better backup capabilities for virtual environments. Correct answer, B. Explanation. The main advantage of ephemeral computing in a virtualized environment is the ability to create and destroy computing resources based on specific needs. This temporary allocation strategy allows organizations to efficiently manage resources by provisioning them only when needed and removing them when the need passes. While reduced hardware maintenance is a benefit of virtualization in general, the specific advantage of ephemeral computing is its temporary nature and the flexibility it provides in resource allocation and deallocation. Question number 5. When implementing desktop virtualization for remote workers, which of the following is the most important security consideration? A. Network bandwidth requirements for remote access. B. Storage capacity for user profiles. C. Authentication and access control for virtual desktop sessions. D. Processing power of end-user devices. Correct answer, C. Explanation. In desktop virtualization implementations, authentication and access control for virtual desktop sessions is the most important security consideration. While network bandwidth, storage capacity, and end-user device capabilities are important for performance and functionality, proper authentication and access control are crucial for securing remote access to virtual desktops. This ensures that only authorized users can access their virtual desktop environments and prevents unauthorized access to corporate resources through the virtual desktop infrastructure. Question number 6. In a virtualized environment using a Type 2 hypervisor, which of the following statements is true? A. The hypervisor runs directly on the hardware without an operating system. B. Multiple hypervisors can run simultaneously on the same hardware. C. The hypervisor runs as a program on top of a host operating system. D. The guest operating systems have direct access to hardware resources. Correct answer, C. Explanation. In a Type 2 hypervisor environment, the hypervisor runs as a program on top of a host operating system. This is a defining characteristic that distinguishes it from Type 1 hypervisors. Common examples include VirtualBox and Parallels, which are typically used on personal computers. The host operating system manages the actual hardware resources, and the hypervisor creates and manages virtual machines through the host OS. This configuration is different from Type 1 hypervisors, which run directly on the hardware, and it's important to understand this distinction for both architectural design and security considerations. Question number 7. An organization is implementing a virtual desktop infrastructure (VDI) solution for their remote workforce. Which of the following is the most significant advantage of this approach? A. Reduced hardware costs for end-user devices. B. Centralized control over application and data access. C. Improved network performance for remote users. D. Decreased storage requirements for user data. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Centralized control over application and data access is the most significant advantage of implementing VDI for remote workers. This centralization allows organizations to maintain strict security controls over corporate data and applications, regardless of the end-user device being used to access the virtual desktop. While reduced hardware costs, improved network performance, and decreased storage requirements are benefits, the ability to centrally manage and secure access to corporate resources is paramount from a security perspective, especially in remote work scenarios. Question number 8. When implementing application virtualization in an enterprise environment, which security control should be implemented first? Network segmentation for virtualized applications. B. Monitoring of application resource usage. C. Access control and authentication mechanisms. D. Backup solutions for application data. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Access control and authentication mechanisms should be implemented first when deploying application virtualization. Before considering operational aspects like network segmentation, resource monitoring, or backup solutions, it's crucial to establish who can access the virtualized applications and how that access will be authenticated. This fundamental security control ensures that only authorized users can access virtualized applications, forming the foundation for all other security measures that will follow. Question number 9. A cloud security architect is designing a virtual environment where different departments will share computing resources. Which of the following is the most critical design consideration? A. Optimization of storage allocation. B. Implementation of strict isolation controls. C. Management of software licensing. D. Monitoring of resource utilization. Correct answer, B. Explanation. When different departments share computing resources in a virtualized environment, implementing strict isolation controls is the most critical design consideration. Proper isolation ensures that each department's workloads and data remain separate and secure, preventing unauthorized access or resource conflicts. While storage optimization, license management, and resource monitoring are important operational considerations, the security of shared resources through proper isolation is fundamental to maintaining the confidentiality and integrity of each department's operations. Question number 10. In a virtualized environment, what is the primary purpose of implementing an application streaming solution? A. To reduce network bandwidth consumption. B. To centralize application management and security controls. C. To improve application performance. D. To minimize storage requirements on end-user devices. Correct answer, B. Explanation. The primary purpose of implementing an application streaming solution is to centralize application management and security controls. While the other options provide operational benefits, centralized management allows organizations to maintain consistent security policies, quickly deploy updates and patches, and control access to applications from a single point. This centralization simplifies security administration and ensures consistent application of security controls across the enterprise. Question number 11. Which of the following represents the biggest security challenge when implementing desktop virtualization for remote workers? A. Managing software updates across virtual desktops. B. Securing data transmission between endpoints and the virtual environment. C. Maintaining consistent performance across different network conditions. D. Providing technical support to remote users. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Securing data transmission between endpoints and the virtual environment represents the biggest security challenge in desktop virtualization for remote workers. This involves protecting sensitive corporate data as it travels across potentially unsecured networks between the user's device and the virtual desktop infrastructure. While managing updates, maintaining performance, and providing support are operational challenges, the security of data in transit is crucial for maintaining confidentiality and integrity in a remote work environment. Question number 12. When implementing a Type 1 hypervisor in a production environment, which of the following security measures should be prioritized? A. Regular backups of guest virtual machines. B. Monitoring of resource allocation. C. Timely application of hypervisor security patches. D. Documentation of virtual machine configurations. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Timely application of hypervisor security patches should be prioritized when implementing a Type 1 hypervisor. Since the hypervisor runs directly on the hardware and manages all guest virtual machines, any security vulnerability in the hypervisor could potentially compromise all virtual machines running on that host. While backups, resource monitoring, and documentation are important operational practices, keeping the hypervisor patched against known vulnerabilities is crucial for maintaining the security of the entire virtualized environment.